Dean's back. Talk Forest TV back with the red and white show. That means Mike Dean's back.
Gonna have to do it right. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Talk Forest TV. I didn't realise that we're live before obviously there's a major meltdown at the minute with the whole Facebook and Instagram and everything being down, but we still managed to get an elite guest on to the show tonight. To my left with this many tops, we have got LGP.
Hello.
And below him, but he is below him on here, but not below him technically. We have got the Mr. Barnsley fan, and he got many photos. Luke.
It's me. I'm here. Nothing can stop me coming on to shows. Not even a little kind of social media, whatever it is.
Yeah. And below me, but not below me, I've got Matt Dean.
Mike Dean's back!
If any of you guys watched last week's show, well, obviously Matt Dean was there. So we are live. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to make it work. So then, lads, we have seen Forest win 2 games for the Barnes this past week since last show. How do you guys feel about it?
Shall I go first?
Yeah.
I feel like Steve Cooper has breathed a new sense of life into Forest. I mean, we are 15 yards further forward on the pitch. We don't look solid at the back, but we look brilliant going forward. We've kind of gone back to Mark Warburton-esque type territory, but I do think it's working. I mean, we don't have this sense of going 1-0 down and thinking we're going to lose anymore, which I think is a real bonus. We've scored 3 goals in 2 games now, which 3 goals in a game was very rare for quite some time. Ryan Yates scores from a header. Lewis Graben scores from outside the box. And one of our right backs scores. I mean, you know, we're starting to set new heights here. And it's getting quite scary.
How do you feel about that, LGP?
Well, I think we in Cooper's last 2 games, we've scored 3 goals in both of them. So, therefore, in the whole of Houghton's tenure at the club, we scored 3 goals in a game twice. So he's already leveled Houghton in terms of that. And as Luke just said, that Cooper seems to have brought a breath of fresh air to the club. Like, we're playing much higher up the pitch. It's much more refreshing to see than this dull negative, only playing our half football. Instead, we're taking the game to the opposition. We're playing some very nice stuff, and it's just it's great to see.
I've got a question. Dan, is this show sponsored by Fanta?
Yeah, it is sponsored by Fanta. And it's sponsored by one and only Mark Dean, who's below me. But it's not below. Go on then, Mike.
Well, I mean, against Barnsley, we were like we were really good going forward. There was like loads of balls that we played that were like really good. And obviously we did get that run to a 3rd goal by Mighton through the 2 defenders. That was just an amazing run. And then obviously the Johnson goal, that was good. And against Birmingham, I mean, I've seen the highlights and I listened to the game on the radio. It sounded like we were a bit shaky at the back. with balls coming into the box and dealing with Jukovic, and then. But going forward in the midfield was apparently really good. And I mean, he did make some bold decisions by taking Garner out and putting Cole back in. But I think that was probably the right decision because Garner hasn't been the best since he come back.
Any of you guys second to that?
Yes. I think as Mike Dean or Owen said that it was a very bold call to take James Garner out and putting Jack Colback in, who again has been another player that has looked so much better under Cooper and Jack Colback, because Colback, after some of his performances under Houghton, some Forest fans didn't want to see him in a Forest shirt again. But under Cooper, he looks back to the Jack Colback that we had on loan in 2019. So it is great to see that. And I think Ryan Yates again with headers, he was looking good. And also what Owen was saying about, we did look a little bit shaky with crosses going into the box. And I think that save from the corner that Samba made was absolutely top draw. Absolutely brilliant save. I think it did probably help that it was our day and probably not Birmingham's day. That could have also played a part into it. But yeah, I think other than crosses into the box, I think it was a top quality performance.
I completely agree with that. I mean, even the Barnsley game, we had a lot of fun under with Luke saying that he was sat in the Barnsley end last Wednesday with his half Forest, half Barnsley top. Did you feel that it was a good result against Barnsley?
Okay, I need to show you this. Things that are going down.
Where did you find that?
Cranky84 on Twitter.
Yeah, just for a bit of banter, guys. So yeah. How do you feel about the Barnsley win?
I feel ecstatic. I mean, we've gone away to Oakwell and we've won. I mean, we go behind from, a liability type challenge from Figueiredo. I mean, it was a shambles. But second half, Graben comes on. We play the ball forward. We get 3 goals. Zinkernagel basically couldn't miss. Graben couldn't really miss. And Johnston's was just a brilliant goal. And as for the talk on Colback, getting further forward, getting played his natural game, he looks good. Ask him to do something that's unnatural. He's, 29, 30 now? He's an experienced player. He knows what his strengths and weaknesses are, and the weaknesses are there for a reason. And that's why he's in the Championship, not playing at somebody like Leicester.
But yeah, completely.
Sounds just like a jukebox to me.
But yeah, it was 2 wins out of 2 and 6 goals, which is the first time we scored 3 back-to-back. 2 games with 3 goals since 2015. That is 2017, and first time we won back-to-back away games since 2015, which is a stat for Club Black Forest. It's absolutely unreal.
Yeah, can I just say, since Houghton played 7 games and scored 5 goals, and since we sacked him, we played 4 games and scored 9 goals, or something like that.
Says it all.
You know that stat you just read out, and you said it's unreal?
Yeah.
It's unreal in the bad sense. The fact is that it's taken us that long to get to a game, 2 games where we scored 3 goals back to back. for a team that wants to be in the Premier League. That's actually embarrassing.
Mm.
That might be part of our problem. We haven't been out there to score many goals, whereas now we seem to be intent on attacking and scoring to try and win games. I mean, it's like we're suddenly making sense all of a sudden. We're no longer the nonsensical club of the Championship.
Mm.
We've left that to Derby's case.
Sure. I mean, Matt Dean showing you the photo of what's going down at the minute. Obviously, hopefully Derby will be going down
With that fiver.
with a father in the bank. Okay. But yeah, I mean, the atmospheres from both games. I mean, seeing the videos, the atmospheres at both games just been electric, and it's quite refreshing to actually hear it because our atmosphere has been this season. It's just nice to see the fans are back behind Forest.
Well, if you give the fans something to support, then they're going to support it, aren't they? If you're playing attacking football and scoring goals, the fans are going to get behind that. If you're going to turn out what we're turning out at the start of the season, then it's no surprise the fans are going to either be quiet or yell the manager back.
I've got the link in the chat for people who are watching on YouTube and Twitch. Obviously, Facebook, we can't get on Facebook because of the technical difficulties that
No wonder Facebook and Insta are both down because Facebook own Insta, don't they?
Yeah.
Well done.
I bet Mo's tried buying it.
You know something? Facebook have gone down because Watford have hired Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah.
The world's just in shock.
Yeah.
Haven't Watford had like 6 managers in the last 2 years or something?
Yeah,
That's why it's gone down. They can't cope with it. Forest sacking another manager, Derby in chaos, and Watford changing the manager all in the same short space of time. They can't handle it. It's just crashed and gone down. Maybe we need to take it a bit slower and even it out across the months instead of just doing it all in a short period of time. Maybe that's the solution.
Yeah. I forgot what I was saying now. But yeah, it has been
Good.
refreshing. It has been refreshing anyway. To be a Forest fan. I mean, how did you feel about Wednesday night, Luton? You know, if you being when Barnsley were winning, how did you feel?
Forest won. I was happy. There is nothing else to this, Dan. Stop bringing it up.
If anyone watched the video from yesterday when we went live and Luke joined, it probably did longest we've seen Luke smile on the video. He was really happy. Don't hear from the whipping. But yeah, I mean, going into the international break, I've all been up the international break thing because it's a bit of a frustrating thing that fair enough that we are hitting a bit of form, not losing in 4 and winning 3 of them and drawing 1. But do you feel like the international break came at the right time?
Yes. Purely for the fact that you can do so much work during an international break that you can't do when you've got a game Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. And the fact is, we need to get better at balls into the box. So for the first 4 days of this international break, I know McKenna's going away with Scotland, I think, but the rest of them, you set up a back 3, you flood the flood a box with balls, and they just have to get rid of it. Have some of your taller players go against them to try and win the ball back. You've got to use the international break to your advantage. There is no such thing as a bad international break if you use it right. the only way it goes wrong is if you use it wrong, and then you come back and lose the next game after the international break. If we beat Blackpool, the international break didn't really matter.
How do you two feel about that?
I mean, yeah, I do agree with what Luke said. Like, with the back, three. Also about the back three, I wonder when that Rodrigo, however you say it, is going to be back. It's Rodrigo Eli or something.
Ellie, yeah,
Yeah,
he's in training, he's just not getting started because you've got Figueiredo, Worrell and McKenna that seem to be forming a back three. I mean, I think the idea was Mbeso was going to play, but he got injured. I mean, we've now got two double-barreled defenders out injured for long periods of time. Mbeso and there's two.
Which is quite unfortunate to be. How do you feel about that, LGP?
Well, I think adding on what Luke says, like, I think if you use the international break to your advantage to work on things that you need improving, then yeah, it can work. But at the same time, it can also it could also, if you've not used it right, it can sort of stutter your momentum. I think it just depends how we work and stuff. I think we need to practice corners and crosses into the box because I think that's how Birmingham got at us quite a bit. But again, how long Cooper been at the club? 2 weeks? So there's going to be quite a bit that he'll still want to improve. He'll still want to look at. And yeah, it's just, I think going forwards, we're definitely getting better. It's just defensively, there's still one or two things that we need to look at and improve.
Definitely. Look like we've got another Luke on. Same Luke. You know what happened there?
Yeah.
I think
I lost connection once, so I left and rejoined.
I think Luke just wanted to be two tonight just to make up the numbers. But yeah,
double me. There's never me.
Yeah. I do actually agree with that. I mean, I did a video this morning. It is on YouTube channel anyway about how the YouTube international break will be. It probably work, probably not work. So it'd be interesting what will happen from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Matt, can you give your referee opinion? We there? Maybe not.
On mute.
But yeah, I mean, how do you? I mean, going back to sort of the last international break. Carry on the chat on the stream. That was NFFC are in there. Obviously, going in from the last international break to this international break, I mean, the mood gone from like really, really low to wanting a manager out and actually not wanting him there to him going and us getting a new manager and breathing new fresh air, which it is nice to see because obviously it was a matter of when they were done sack proceeding and now the after and Steve Cooper is here. It just gives us that bit more of a thing to look forward to the Blackpool game. That's an open comment for anyone to jump in.
Oh, I'll jump on it actually. I think definitely the mood of the club is definitely it's a lot higher than what it was under Houghton because I'd say 90% of fans wanted him out. And I think the only reason that you could say some people weren't him out, Houghton out, is because at that time the transfer window wasn't closed. But I feel like what we need to do is we need to. You tend to get a bit of a new manager bounce when you get this. When you tend to get a new manager, if we can use this good form that we've got and keep moving, then this new manager bounce can last a bit longer. Kind of what happened with Cardiff when they got Mick McCarthy. They went on this ridiculously good run. So if we can just tap into this really good unbeaten run and change it from just a new manager bounce to a really good unbeaten run, then hopefully we can push up the table.
I do agree. How do you feel about that, Luke?
Well, we all know my thoughts on Chris Hughton. I don't need to bore everybody with it again. And I've already said my thoughts on Steve Cooper. So, yeah, I mean,
We have got there and there. And when you put Facebook sort your packs, we can get through it. It's just unfortunately we have managed to get this show live on here, which is quite good. So the viewers don't lose out on this remarkable panel that we do have. It's a shame that we haven't got other people in. So, but yeah, I mean, with this everything else that is going off, actually, look, as pointed out as well with the set pieces and that. So obviously, we'll give Steve Cooper. There's a calling Steve Hughton then.
don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me, Dan.
Stevie Hughton. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stevie Hughton. just for Luke's banter, this is. But yeah, hopefully that we do finish because I mean Birmingham that first 10 minutes or so. Well, first off, they was having chances after chances. So it was just a shame that they didn't. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think I'd say first 10 minutes of the Birmingham game, I don't think we were that good. It's just we got a good counter-attacking chance and Grabban scored it very well. And because I believe they hit the post inside the first 5 minutes. They were putting crosses into the box left, right, and centre, which, as we've already pointed out, is something that we need to improve on. But we can definitely use these next 2 weeks to improve on that. And I think they were clearly trying to get it on Harley Dean and Lucas Djukovic's head in that game, and that you could tell because they tried to do that, tried to put lots of crosses in, and I think we defended. It wasn't like the worst defending. But there's definitely signs that can be get at because that's how Millwall scored their goal when it came to the City ground. Crossed into the box, headed in by Matt Smith. So it's clear and obvious that that's something we need to improve on because I think Blackpool will probably be looking at that and saying we need to get crosses into the box. We need to win as many corners as possible to try and get at Forest. So we need to tighten it up and just make sure that their wide men are marked very well and are not in any crossing positions. But yeah, it's definitely signs of improvement, and I'm very happy that Cooper is doing well.
Oh, definitely. We have lost Luke whilst we were talking. Obviously, this Stevie Hughton son kind of just killed Luke off this week, and it's not the bouncy joke. But we have got Mike Dean back.
Mike Dean is back. Mike Dean is back. Whoa. Mike Dean is back. Mike Dean is back.
But yeah, we have got 3 people watching it, which is quite good. Well, 5 now, which is quite good to see what is happening. So,
How many would we get if we had Facebook?
Oh, we're getting a lot more, and it'd be a lot more interesting to chat. But yeah, I do actually agree that it would be good that funny. Have any of you guys got any thoughts on things that you want to discuss?
I want to just add something about Joe Lolly. Do you two think that Joe Lolly should start?
Ron and Mike, I'll let you have your say.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Joe Lloyd, to be honest, and I think last season he definitely wasn't good. I won't deny that. But this season, he actually made some good runs against Barnsley. He almost scored. It was close, but I think, and he technically got the goal against Huddersfield, but it went down as an own goal. So I think he should start, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just at the minute because obviously Johnson's playing well, Sinardo playing well, Grabban's sitting form, so it is finding it hard for. Not saying that Lolly shouldn't be starting because we all know what Joe Lolly is, but personally, I'm finding it hard for him to get in at the minute, especially with the windows that we do have and how well they are playing and just dropping it in form. I mean, how can you try and get Joe Lolly into this team?
Yeah, definitely. It's very difficult for him to get into the team. I think, especially with the way we look to be playing with obviously the back three, the two wing backs and the two centre mids, and it looks to be sort of two wingers that are tucking inside a bit, whereas Lolly likes to be a little bit more wider. But it looks like the Zinkernagel and Johnson are tucking in a bit more in behind Grabban. And right now, I don't see how you can drop any of those three. I don't see how you can do that. It's very difficult. I do think he deserves as many chances he can get because I think like Huddersfield, he was really, really good. I think he was probably one of the best players on the pitch. I think when he's given the chances, he can do well. I think last season he had his issues with injuries, and that sort of halted him a bit. But just the entire team were pretty poor, apart from one or two, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's definitely very difficult for him to get into the team. But I am probably one of his biggest fans. I still think he should be given plenty of chances this season, and I think he could get into double figures for assists if he's given chances. But whether he'll be given enough chances to get those double figures in assists, I'm not sure.
That is actually a valid point, to be fair. I do give you that one. But we all know that Joe Lolly's will be in Stevie Cooper's plans anyway, because obviously we've got Martin as well, and we all know that. Cooper will know Joe Lolly's capabilities anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think he would have watched the Huddersfield game because he said in his first interview that he watched the Huddersfield game. He would have known what he can do, and he's definitely put him on the right hand side, and he will. If he was to play every single Championship game on that right hand side, he will probably get you, I would say, at least 5 goals, pushing 10 assists if he played every single Championship game on the right hand side. So I would say if he was to play every single Championship game, I'd say he would get 5 goals and 7 assists. If you would play him at every single Championship game, I think he would get 5 goals and 7 assists.
Do you agree to that, Matthew?
Yeah, I agree because Lolly can get a load of assists. Didn't Didn't he get like how many assists did he get? I don't know. One season he must have got 20 something plus. One season or something. I can't remember.
Mm.
I'll just look at his stats now.
He might be right there, mate.
Let's look. So in his best season for
wait.
Forest in 18
We
/19,
need to.
he got
We need to sign someone for us. They're good at two-footing people. My mate or someone in my year, Corhan, he two-footed the assistant head teacher today.
that probably didn't put him in his good books.
What were you going to say about the
In his best season statistically, in 2018/2019 season, he played 46 games, which I think is pretty much every single one apart from a few. Got 11 goals and 11 assists in the championship. So that's 22 goal contributions in the championship. Then 18/19, he didn't play every single game, 42 games, 9 goals, 8 assists. And then the last season, only 28 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. 1 goal, 2 assists. I think if that was all competitions, I think that's 1 goal, 4 assists as well. And so far this season, it's 7 games, 1 goal. So he's definitely, I feel like under Houghton, he was so limited and he didn't get many games, even though a lot of Forest fans thought he should. And I think he put on his after the Huddersfield game on his Instagram story that he felt it was nice to be let off the leash. I think was his words. So it was clear that he was put under some the team were put under some defensive pressure by Houghton. So, and I believe like 2 or 3 days after Houghton's sacking, Houghton came out and said that literally none of the signings he made were Houghton's decision. Well, I mean, you're a championship manager. I feel like you should be able to get a tune out of Philip Zinckernagel, who's got 6 assists so far this season in all competitions. You should be able to get a tune out of Lewis Grabban, who can bag 15 goals. You should be able to get a tune out of Joe Lolly, who got 11 goals, 11 assists in one season. You should be able to get a tune out of João Carvalho, who cost 13 million quid. I feel like he could have been able to do that, but yeah, it's definitely, and like Andy Reid, as someone made a point, Andy Reid got a tune out of those players that Houghton had to work with, and he's not a qualified head coach number 1. So, and Steve Cooper's been able to get a tune so far out of these players. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Philip Zinckernagel in there. Zinckernagel is actually joint 4th in the assist in the championship. You got the likes of Swift, Billy Sharp, and Jed Wallace in that list as well. And Swift has been good for Reading this season. Now,
Yeah.
How many goals did Grabban have this season? Is it 4?
Let me have a look.
Because if it is, how many did he score last season? Our top scorer last season scored like 4 goals, wasn't it?
No, Lewis Grabban got 6 last season, and he was our top scorer. So Grabban, so far this season, 10 matches, 4 goals, 1 assist.
So he's not far. He's probably going to beat his last season total.
Yeah, his tally for last season was 28 matches, 6 goals, 1 assist. So that's 7 goal contributions last season. So what? 2 more goals, 3 more goals. If he gets 3 more goals, he's already beaten last season's tally.
Okay, we scored 37 goals last season in a 46 game season, and already in 11 games we've already got 14 goals. So I think we're definitely going to be, or we should be, our goals fourth from last season.
Oh, then it's just nice. It's just nice to see it's own goals. I mean, last season was just nightmare for getting them. So it just makes a change that we are storing goals now, and we're doing it without any fear or any shackles on.
Mm.
I mean, our goal difference isn't even exactly that bad anyway. It's 0, which is not bad, considering that we lost. Well, we lost how many games by 1 goal? We
200
lost
probably.
Opening Day by 1 goal. Bournemouth by 1 goal. Okay, it'd be easier if I did click on Forest and check. So, save me back to last season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we lost 5 games by 1 goal, and then 1 game by 2 goals. So, I mean,
Interesting.
looking ahead to Blackpool, we could go 13th is the highest we can go with a win. And it's the 2 form sides in the league since Houghton got sacked. We're top and Blackpool are second.
Saw that.
So we make it a lot more interesting, say Lee's going into that Blackpool game that we have got the 2 informed teams, so it should be there to make it a lot more entertaining.
Definitely, yeah.
And I mean, I think Blackpool will be a test because they've beaten Fulham in recent weeks. And I mean, we do have Fulham to play in a couple of weeks. And I think if they keep slipping up, maybe, we can maybe, if we play like we did against Barnsley in Birmingham, we can maybe get a draw out of that game against Fulham.
Yeah, good do. Definitely. So I'd like to say thank you for LDP coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for Matt Dean coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So I'd like to say thank